Hey guys, today in the workshop we have a 2018 Renault Kadjar to 1.3 petrol and it's having an issue with losing coolant. So let's take a look, see what's going on. So under the bonnet we can see, yeah, the coolant level is right down. And having a quick look down here by this coolant housing, we can see there's wetness on the top of that gearbox. So let's put some water in there, put a tester on it so we can pressurize the system and see if we can see any leaks. Okay, so let's put some water in here. Put on the correct adapter. Then using this tool we can pump it up. Make sure that's seated on properly. And I can already hear a leak coming from over there. So we'll just pump this up. Set this down and let's have a look. So pumping up that tool basically just pressurizes the system and forces any coolant out of any potential leaks. So now that we've pumped that up and we can see that there's a leak coming from that thermostat housing, we know that we're going to have to replace that. So yeah, let's get that off, have a closer look, and yeah, get it ready for when the part arrives in the morning. So you could probably struggle to get down in here with a ratchet in order to disconnect everything, but just to make life a little bit easier for access, we're going to remove the battery. So the negative terminal is a 10mm, it's the same for the positive. So we'll just take this off here. Set it down to one side. $10mm on the support bracket. So these are just hooks, so you don't have to take them off all the way. When they're in their position, they'll hook in and then pull it tight when you tighten the 10mm. Then just be careful of the terminals. And it's out. So now that we have the battery out, the next step is to drain the system of coolant. So with the car up in the air, we're going to take off the under tray. And this is a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. It's got a few 10mm, Torx 20s and a bunch of different clips. So we'll just go ahead and get this off. So now that we've got access underneath the car, we can just take out this drain plug and drain the coolant system. So just make sure that you have a container to catch it all in. You'll still get a little bit of coolant that are still in the pipes, but a lot less than if you just didn't do this. So it just saves a lot of mess. This can be really tight by hand, so if you just use a small pliers, you should be able to work it off that way. So with the coolant system drained, we can start to take off the coolant pipes. So using a pair of pliers. Just maneuver that off. Yeah, we got a little bit of drippage just from residue that was still left in the pipe. Tuck this one out the way. So this pipe that runs alongside the thermostat housing has a little 10mm there. We'll have to take that off because that is in the way of the clip for that rear pipe. So this will have a little bit of flex in it because it's still connected on both ends, but now it'll give me access to just that rear clip. So here's that pipe we've just taken off. Again, you can just tuck that to one side. This does still have a little bit of coolant in it, so what I like to do is try to tuck it away where it's still pointing upwards, so it's not going to spill anywhere. So with those pipes off, we want to start taking off the electrical connectors. There's a temperature sensor just here, and also on the bottom end of the thermostat there's another sensor just down there with the grey plug. So we'll want to disconnect them and basically just try and get as much of the wiring away from this area as possible. So this vacuum control solenoid, we'll unplug that. Unplug this. These can be a little bit fiddly by hand. Does this one want to go? So if you're careful, you can use pliers. Just to get the right amount of strength on it. This part of the wiring loom is clipped onto that housing as well, so we need either a flathead screwdriver or the proper tool for these clips. So just tuck that to one side. So yeah, I think we can start taking out these bolts. There's 7 of them and they are 8mm. So I've undone this grey multi-plug. There isn't a lot of travel underneath the housing, but when I lift this out of position, it should just come away now. This would probably be easier with a quarter drive ratchet, and for some reason I don't see where mine has gone. Also, for ease of access, it makes sense to take off this pipe and this pipe, so then this one that's passing the housing that we need to get off, that can just be set to one side. So using a set of pliers again, especially these smaller pipes, they have a tendency to get seized on or stuck on the coolant pipes, so you might need a little hook to kind of break it free, or if you put the grips on it, just try and wiggle it side to side just to break that grip. There you go. It's that one and the one just behind it. Alright, you can just set that to one side. Got plenty more room now to work. Okay, let's get this one down here. There's that one. So that's the 3 out of the top. We've just got the 4 along the bottom now. So there's one of these bolts just behind there, so we need to move this routing for the wiring loom. So there's a 10mm just there, so we'll take that out, hopefully move this away enough so we can get that 8mm out. So with that 10mm off, we can move the wiring loom at least a little bit. Probably be easier if I get a little ratchet spanner in there. Down here. There, I've got it. Oh. That was hard to get my hand in there, so yeah. 3 to go. So you'll be really pleased to know that I found my 1/4" ratchet, and the bottom 3 are quite straightforward. So you're able to get the ratchet in and just underneath like that to undo them. The only awkward thing about it is that you have to kind of feel for them because you can't see them directly. But yeah, they should come out easily enough. Okay, that's the last one. I separated it easy enough from the block. Again, a little bit fiddly. Oh, a few drips. And there it is, it's out. So looking at the actual thermostat housing itself, there's no obvious leak. Normally they're very prone to cracking along here where the seam is for the actual thermostat. But when we did the pressure test, it did look like it had just started to drip from here, from inside the seal. And you can see there's a little bit of staining here, so it could just be that the seal failed. But yeah, there's those 4 bolts directly underneath, and those 3 top ones. It looks a lot simpler, but on the car it is just very tight to work on, so you're going to have to get in there and feel for those bottom bolts, but other than that it's not too bad. So with some emery paper we can gently scrub the surface just to give it a quick clean, ready to take the new thermostat housing. So here's the part direct from Renault, so here's the part numbers in case you need them. So let's just take it out of the box and compare it to the old part just to make sure everything's exactly the same and that you've got all of the sensors and the new seal. So when you're ready, you place the thermostat housing back into position. You want to be careful that you don't snag it on any of the framework or any of the loose multi-plugs. Before you start securing anything, now would be a good time to reconnect that grey connector underneath the thermostat. And then you want to take your first 8mm, hold the thermostat housing in the correct position, and then just tighten up by hand the first few bolts just to make sure that everything is seated and in the correct position. I'd recommend getting the top 3 started first, just because they're the easiest to see, and then getting started on the 4 on the underside. Just remember, the one behind the wiring loom is quite tricky, but just be patient with it, you don't want to damage these threads. Once you've started all of the bolts by hand, you can go around with them with a ratchet just to make sure that they all tighten down evenly and that you're not pinching any sections of the seal. Remember to check your technical data for any specific torque settings. When you're happy that the thermostat housing is tight to the block, you can start to refit the coolant pipes. Make sure these pipes sit all the way home and that the clips sit in the correct position. When you're happy that that rear pipe is in position, you can start to refit some of the electrics. So this wiring connector that goes onto the temperature sensor on the top of the housing, just pop that on and remember to resecure it to the frame. So this is just a push fit clip, and then we can refit the connector onto the vacuum solenoid. Then we can reposition the coolant pipe, the one that travels across the thermostat housing. These are the 2 pipes that we removed earlier just for ease of access. Again, you just want to make sure that these rubber pipes sit in the correct position and that the clips are seated where they should be. Once you've fitted the clip to this front part of the pipe, then you can get at the larger rear section. That should just wiggle on. Then you can refit the 10mm that secures that pipe to the actual housing of the thermostat. Also, don't forget to tighten up the 10mm on the lower wiring loom support. This is the one that we removed earlier so that we could have access to one of the bolts for the housing. And when that's done, we can finally refit this main water pipe. Just want to make sure that it sits all the way home, and then using the pliers we can reapply the clips. Now that all the water pipes are back in place, we can refit the drain plug from the cooling system so that we can start to fill it. Now with the drain plug back in, we can now fill the system with coolant and then bleed all the air out of it. So in order to bleed this system, there are bleed nipples on some of the pipes, and one is on the housing that we've actually just fitted. So if we take off one of these bleed nipples, this should allow any air that's in that pipe to be released, and the coolant that's in the reservoir will start to drop down to fill its space. When the flow of coolant goes steady and you're happy that there's no more air bubbles, then you can refit the cap for the bleed nipple. So here's the bleed nipple on the thermostat housing just there. This can be a little bit awkward to get out with everything in place, but you are able to do it. It's just a little bit fiddly, that's all. But yeah, this is the same process. We undo the cap, wait for the air to kind of dissipate through the bleed nipple and for the coolant to start to flow. And again, just wait for a steady flow of coolant and then refit the cap. And there's one more bleed nipple on the rear cooling pipe that's right next to the bulkhead, and this is the pipe that goes to the inside of the car. Again, same process here, remove that cap and then wait for the steady flow of coolant. So now that we're happy that we have the right amount of coolant and that there's no air in the system, we can pump the system back up
just to make sure that there's no more leaks. So you want to pressurize the system and then just double check your work just to make sure that there's no issues with any of the pipes that you fitted, or if there's an issue with the thermostat. So when you're happy, all you've got to do is refit the battery, make sure that there's a correct amount of coolant still in the reservoir, reapply the cap, and then go for a road test. You still want to get the car up to temperature and just double check everything's okay.
And that is it for this video, guys. I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, feel free to drop anything in the comments. Let's talk about it there.